evening. We had 69 calls in January. 45 were during the daytime hours and 24 at night. We had 1 in Chatham Township, 1 in the city of Medina, 57 in Lafayette Township, 5 in Chippewa Lake, 3 in Gloria Glens, and 2 in Seville. 67% were EMS calls, and the rest were just good intent fire calls. Our average turnout time was 1 minute and 59 seconds for that month, and year-to-date is 1 minute and 58 seconds, which is getting a little better day by day. And 5 minutes and 28 seconds till we get on scene. Now we received mutual aid 3 times this past month. We gave mutual aid to Seville twice, Chatham once, and Medina City once. And some things we've been doing, we conducted a community blood drive on January 18th. They ended up with 17 donations. Thank you, Bob Engel, for arranging this. We'll continue this program and offer those blood drives every few months. This past weekend, we participated in the Chippewa Lake Lions Club Polar Bear Jump and Run Walk. This was a collaborative effort with Seville and Westfield Fire Departments. Our 24-hour staffing has begun with 3 personnel, and the majority of that this past month, we've been able to cover those shifts with 3 people and with 1 medic per shift. We'd like to see the roster grow a little bit so we can eliminate that hours to about 38 or 29 to 38 hours is the average for part-time employees, so we want to kind of keep it that way. Our new phone system was installed. We're still working on some kinks on that, but it's working. If you send a voicemail to us right now at the fire department, we may or may not get it, just an FYI. So always call my cell if you need something emergent, and my cell's on the website. So our combination cutter spreader, it was delivered and in service on our med unit, which is it's a combination cutting spreader tool that's used for extrication, for auto extrication. So that's a very good tool that we're going to use in the future, and hopefully not that often. Dylan Warkowski is our EMA emergency management student. He's going to be with us for a month. He's a intern for the month, and he was actually my high school student when I taught school about, I don't know how many years ago now, 4 years ago, I guess, or so. So yeah. So, Dylan. Gates Smith and Noah Gable have begun paramedic school at UH, and they're doing well so far. They're expected to graduate in December of 2025. Kelly Parker and Tara Powell are doing very well in paramedic school, and they're expected to be completed in August of 2025. And Ben Grega has submitted his resignation. I sent the email to you. He was hired full-time in Seville. He also lives in Litchfield and works on their fire department. His resignation letter is in the report. I'd like the board to consider the hiring of 6 individuals, actually. So Spencer Pappas, Blake Paul, Ashton Porrick, Nathan Stankovich, and Austin Neal, firefighters and EMTs. 3 of them are currently enrolled in paramedic school. And also the hiring of Javon Russell. He's a firefighter 2 paramedic already, and he's ready to start whenever. So, and last on my list, the promotion of the new officers. The 2 officers to engineer, Andrew Berger and Alex Thomas, both interviewed well last week and have vast experience in mechanical work, have committed to the hour requirements of the new job description, and will be a valuable resource for our department going forward. And then the recommendation of lieutenant positions for Tara Powell, a longstanding firefighter and EMT in our community, and she's in medic school. She's been serving the community outreach coordinator, is doing a fantastic job. She's active in the department and the community, which is great. And Dennis Bosch, a more recent member of our department, is the regional coordinator for Summit County Hazmat team. Hazmat instructor and a paramedic firefighter for Macedonia full-time. So that's all I have right now.
Have you spoken with Chief about the personnel?
Yeah,
decision?
yeah, the letter.
Well, not just that. While we're on that though, Chief, I think we've both received your letter from earlier today.
Right.
And I've got no problem with you moving forward.
Okay.
With that.
Likewise. So go ahead. We don't need to
Okay.
do an executive session just for that.
All right.
Have you spoke with him about the
Oh,
resignation and
yes.
other appointments and
Yeah,
whatnot?
we're fine with the
Any
personnel.
issues?
No?
I would make the motion then to accept Ben Grega's resignation. I'm assuming that's effective immediately.
Yeah, he put his resignation at the end of the month. He got full-time in Seville last month, and he wants to explore different opportunities. So,
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
I would also, pending any, all positive outcomes of background checks,
You did say those are completed,
Yeah,
correct?
so we're using integrity verification now, and it's all encompassing. It's the background check, it's FBI, BCI, it gives the driver's abstract report, as well as a drug screening, so, and everything's coming back so far. So far, all of them have come back, so, with no issues.
I would make the motion then to hire Spencer Pappas, Blake Paul, Ashton Porch, Nathan Stankovich, Austin Neal, and Jevin Russell.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right.
Awesome. We'll
Thank
have
you, Chief.
7 new paramedics at the end of this year.
You need a motion for moves to
Oh.
lieutenants or engineer?
yeah, I'm sorry.
I would also make the motion to appoint Andrew Berger and Alex Thomas as engineers.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
And finally, I'd motion to approve the promotion to lieutenant for Tara Powell and Dennis Bosch.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Zoning. Sherry is not with us this evening, but she did submit her report. January was a bit slower. We had 6 permits written. 1 was a new home on Ryan Road, 2 fences, and 3 ag exempt buildings. We will be holding a public hearing tomorrow evening to discuss potential nuisance at 7176 Hunter Drive. That'll be at 6:30 tomorrow evening. She did want to update the property on Technology Lane across from Safety Service Building is under new ownership again, and there have been preliminary discussions on potential site plans. When they get further down the process, that'll be made public as well, or, they'll have their hearings and their meetings. We did swear in Kevin Pyatt as a alternate to the Board of Zoning Appeals, and 2 new members of the Zoning Commission, Lee Wienerman and Tim Kassouf. Also, next Tuesday, the Zoning Commission, following Tuesday. Is it the 11th?
Would be
Well,
the-
yeah, next
would be,
Tuesday, not tomorrow, but the 11th.
Not February's meeting, but March's meeting. So we'll have
March,
February's meeting to
gotcha.
discuss it and prepare
Okay.
as a commission, and then March 11th would be.
But you want people to attend February or March?
Probably the March.
Okay, all right.
It's kind of how
So-
I had it. I haven't talked to Karen about it yet, but that was kind of how I had.
All right, the zoning commission's working on finalizing the language for local commercial, and given that that's kind of been a hot button issue for some of the residents with different development that's been discussed and done over the last couple of years, the zoning commission would like to welcome anybody, you're always welcome anyway, but just wanted to make sure that the public was aware that that was the topic that would be on the agenda for that evening, so anybody that would be interested in sharing their thoughts, that's the night to do so. We had discussed this last year, we did it on the same time frame. Here's Sharon and Sherry and Karen had gone through all of the zoning fees and just updated them to be a little bit more in line and consistent. There were some, we did them last year, and some little tweaks just to make things more consistent across the board. I don't know if we want to do those with Ty not being here this evening, but the plan was hopefully to be able to just implement those starting March 1st like we did last year. What are your thoughts?
Probably best to let him.
Table it?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So we will do that. Public comment?
Actually,
Oh, please. Sorry, Chief. Sorry, Lieutenant Markham.
Usually
Skip
the fire
completely
chief
over that.
talks for 30
Yeah.
minutes, and now you're skipping.
Well, wait,
now you picked tonight to come up, huh?
you're coming up this?
I am coming.
Oh,
Chief Kavanaugh gave me some time this.
No problem.
I did send over the final year end at the end of the day. I don't know if you guys were able to see that or not, but September 1st, this past September 1st was our 6 full years of providing police contract services to Lafayette Township. 3 more years that remain on the current contract. Some of the larger categories in the past year that I wanted to talk about with numbers, we responded to 113 alarms. We assisted another agency, which most of the time is the fire department, 486 times. We do respond or try to respond to every fire and EMS call in the township. There were 115 citizen assists, extra patrol requests, 802, 253 times we ran radar or laser in the township. We had 90 disturbance calls, 52 domestic calls, 31 fraud or identity theft calls, 89 non-injury crashes, and 40 injury crashes. And we had 245 traffic stops, and favorite, I think, of the residents is the Vacation Watch program that we offer, and we had 604 vacation watches in 2024. So the grand total of incidents in 2024 was just over 3,700. That's all I have, unless you guys have questions for me.
I do not. I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Now we'll do public comment. No public comment. Any correspondence?
The only correspondence I had was from today, the land reutilization letter. I'm of the opinion that we're probably not interested in this one. It's a residential property.
Well, last year, I think we had,
I know we talked about
We had
last
talked
year,
about just having a-
automatically having.
because it doesn't commit us to anything, and then
Right.
ultimately it probably gets resolved without it being
Right.
there, but it reserves us the right to, if we want to down the road. So I think we stick with that for now.
Okay.
But yeah, outside of that.
Okay.
And then I had, the only correspondence I had, I had a resident over on Lake Road reach out, mailbox issue, forwarded them to the county. County went ahead and took care of it. And then obviously we had the correspondence from last month that we discussed as far as the trustee, elected official compensation, but still, I haven't heard anything back from the prosecutor's office.
I have not either.
Okay, all right. That's it. Unresolved business, the old siren at Lions Park. I know we discussed that at the last meeting.
Yes.
Was there any further?
I reached out to the gentleman. I'm actually meeting with him at the property next week.
Okay.
He said it's probably a couple $1,000s minimum to repair it, but he's in agreement that the new siren at the town hall down there at the village will more than compensate for the radius of influence from the Lions Park siren. So we'll go through some options, and he'll give me, whatever recommendations he has on it.
All right, and the thought process still is hopefully he can just remove it and clear that out.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. And then I put employee handbook on here, but I don't know, I mean, I know Ty was, I don't know if there's anything further on that. We've been talking about it for a while.
I don't have anything, I mean, if you want to talk about specific things, we can. I don't really have anything that I was planning on talking about with it. But before we move to new business, I do have a couple updates on unresolved.
Okay.
Drove by the Harger and Ryan Road lot where last meeting the lady came.
Obstructed view.
Yes. It looks like there's a bunch of vegetation that's been cut down there now. It was not from us. I don't know if it was a utility corridor thing from along Harger. It looks like there might be new utilities being laid there, so.
Yeah, there's the new home being built.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's much more bare than it was, so.
Okay.
Spoke with Kimball following our meeting last month. You had
The trash, yeah.
Yeah, and they said they would forward that on to their route drivers.
Excellent, okay.
And then I don't know, you said there was another mailbox, it was County Road.
Yeah, it
Do
was
you
on-
know,
on
Did they
that.
address that with their current policy of, what is it, $35 from?
I actually, after our meeting, I did speak with, I visited the county and just to kind of get a feel on how they do it. And they had 24 incidents last year for 2024. They did 9 repairs, and that's what this particular one was. Obviously, the county has a significantly larger road department, so they were able to send somebody out that day
Right.
to repair it and at least get it up and running. and then they've replaced 15, mailboxes in 2024, but their policy does still remain the same of, $35.
I think that's something we might want to revisit, doesn't have to be today, but, I mean, leaving it on a case-by-case basis every time might be a,
I didn't necessarily, to clarify the last meeting, I don't think it was so much that every single one needs to be on a case-by-case, but like when there's, clear evidence that it was something where it was.
because we always have
'cause-
the opportunity.
Right, and that's more what I was looking at from a standpoint of not just automatically defaulting to, like, in every single situation, we're only gonna do
Okay,
the 35. Because obviously there are a lot of cases where we're not gonna be able to validate exactly what happened.
right.
But then there's gonna be other times with all the technology that's out there, sometimes it will be caught on camera, or we will have,
Right.
and when it is something that's our fault, I think we should,
Make it right.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
I don't have anything else for
Okay.
unresolved business.
Under new business, I know we have permanent appropriations listed. I had them for the last meeting.
Right.
I know with Ty's absence, I don't know how much we need to tweak them from where we were last month,
Did
but
Ty happen to provide any feedback to you, Laura? I mean, I don't know. We can talk about it, I don't know if you want to, or, again, that might be something best to have
Yeah.
all three of us present on.
we can get that done at the beginning of the March meeting.
Yeah.
All right. Lafayette cleanup days.
Kristen, you've got the costs from 23 and 24, correct?
It was like
It was
just
my
under,
email.
it was a little under, well, here.
I didn't write it down. Oh.
It was like 1,100 in 23 and 1,400 and
Yeah, it's
something
a little bit
in
of bump
24.
last year, but I think
Well, we
it's-
had almost double the amount of vouchers
Right.
handed out last year than we did the year before.
Did we just not get a lot of them back? Because the cost wasn't that big of a difference.
It might be that the total refuse
Well, that's true
volume
too.
wasn't as much.
Yeah,
Yeah, it just depends, well, and it
That's
depends
a
on
good
how
point.
much they
yeah.
dump.
I think it's a well-received program. And
Oh, absolutely. I was just trying to get an idea of, do we want to set I know we appropriated money as part of our,
I would say probably the same as last year.
Was it
It's up to you.
April 1st to July 31st? Is that what we
Correct.
did? Yeah. Does that sound like a reasonable timeframe
yeah?
to you? I'd make the motion to open up our Lafayette cleanup days again with vouchers similar to the last few years from April 1st to July 31st.
With one per address.
One per household. Yeah, same rules as last year. They provide you identification at the
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
door.
they have to bring their license or,
Driver's license or a utility bill? right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right. And then for health insurance renewal, I had the opportunity in speaking with Scott Nasi. I know he had contacted, I think everybody got a chance to talk to him a little bit last year. And, we've been talking about it for a while now, is trying to figure out, how to maybe tweak the health coverage to still provide an adequate level of coverage for the employees, but, maybe be a little more fair to the taxpayers that are footing the bill. And along those lines, in speaking with Scott, I know last year we kind of just looked at the different renewal options that we had from our current provider. But one of the things that limits our ability to shop the plan in full is not getting form fire and those full details. So I know that it requires, the surveys to be filled out by each of the members, but I'd like to see us do that. And the biggest thing is, not only does it allow them to get more competitive quotes from the current providers, there are a number, Summa, Medical Mutual won't even quote a plan without doing that form fire. So I don't know if we necessarily need a formal action, but I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on, not necessarily the biggest fan always of putting down a mandate, but, in this particular case, I think we really need to require that,
I'm normally
if you want to
not a
be able
big
to
fan of
cover.
having digital information, especially sensitive information, stored on you too, and that's what the form fire is. But maybe we start with asking the employees first and see if they're willing to I mean, because I think everybody knows that there's probably a adjustment on the horizon with what we have to do, and if that's a way for us to be more competitive, see how they feel about it first. It's personal information being, you know, stored by Big Brother.
Well, yeah, I get that, but it's also, you know, I think our health premiums for last year were 134,000, I think, if I'm working on, you know, it's not a small expense.
Right.
You know, and if we can do anything to cut that down, you know,
Yeah. I mean, you personally, you'd be okay with, I know it's not a mandate, but it's gonna end up being, and it's,
yeah, I mean, and
I'm kind of with you on that. I agree. It's
ultimately
a-
somebody,
It might be a necessary evil in the interest of saving
ultimately
money.
whoever we do health insurance through gets all that information
Right.
in the end anyway. So, you know, it's not a matter of, you know, it's out there anyway, so don't
Right.
worry about it. I'm not trying to take that stance, but, you know, again, I think private employers kind of lean on that a little bit more, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I'll reach out to the employees and
Okay.
start. I mean, it's the
Service.
start, right?
well, I mean, ultimately, it winds up being the service department
Right.
and then the four of us, so.
Right.
You know, but yeah, if you would, just because we've got renewal dates May 1st, so that's gonna be coming up here in the next
3 months.
30, you know, well, but within the next 30 days, we'll wanna get somebody else shopping.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on at least, even if we don't do the form fire, which, I mean, I hope we do, but if we don't, I mean, are we still, because I don't think we even had Scott quote them
Oh, I did.
last year.
He was not able to get anything outside
Competitive.
of, because of the form fire.
Yeah.
There may have been one, but he couldn't beat what we had in place. So,
Okay.
um, It didn't go anywhere. But yeah, I think it might be a necessary evil to try to spur competition.
Well, and the other thing too is, you know, again, it's not, you know, we don't store the information when the employees fill out the survey, like, we won't have a copy of it. The broker, you know, shopping the plant for us won't have a copy of it, it's directly into the form fire system, so,
Right.
you know, at least alleviates some of the concerns of how many people wind up having access to that.
Did you reach out to Scott Nossi this year? Or
Yeah,
last
just
year?
follow,
Okay.
because he had sent that
Right.
email checking on that, so I reached out to him just to clarify what exactly he would need
Yeah.
in order to be able to shop it
I
for
told
us.
him I'd follow up with him too.
Okay.
So,
All right. And then, no public comment?
I have a question.
Oh,
Do you guys have any objection to the appropriations you already did? The reason I'm saying is because I have to close UAN by February 28th. Aside from not allocating the salaries in 2031, you can always supplement or revise.
for the permanent ones we discussed, I mean, I was fine with them. I just know, you know, we tabled them at the January 13th
Yeah.
meeting because of other things that we were doing and having more time. I don't think Ty planned on not being here. I know Chief had a tweak that we had talked
So I
about.
had a couple tweaks, like, fire safety services, contracted services, that's the bench testing, and put that into the appropriations. It's about 2,000 a year. Next year, we're gonna have to do, the actual, not bench testing, we have to do the hydro testing on the models, which is gonna be much more expensive, I gotta get a quote for that. This year would be about $2,000. And then so like, there's different things, and on my budget, I could find like different spots where like integrity verification doesn't fit anywhere. And that's like the professional tech services that we had, but now we don't. Wondering if we could potentially put something in there for those kind of things. Everything else is pretty much covered, I believe, but, well, in the repair and maintenance of the station, it said to be determined, that was another thing, so.
Yes.
If we're not gonna do professional tech services, the repairs of the station would fall under that, like garage doors would always fall under professional tech services. Our air compressor right now is gonna get serviced, that's gonna be a $420 service charge, so that's a professional tech service, or or it's gonna be a repair and maintenance for the
Yeah.
station, so.
Yeah, you and I can get together and talk about the different, like, wordings, because
Okay.
I think we're a little bit opposite, but
I mean,
we
these,
gotcha.
these numbers were pretty much directly from our work session there in December.
Right.
I think what Laura's asking, if I'm hearing correctly, is should we put these in place? We can always tweak them
Yeah.
based on that. And I think we
haven't
left,
gotten the end of year, our new certificate yet, based on the end of year
Yeah.
balances, but, I mean, I don't,
that's fine. We left the resolution numbers open, correct? We didn't use 7 on either side, right?
think so.
I don't.
I don't think we did.
Right, we left
But
them
those
vacant.
would be the
Those were the
next-
ones that we had.
Yeah.
Well, no, because we did 8 on the township side for something, I think, or the fire district side.
I don't remember off the top of my head.
But, yeah, I mean, we can work right off of these. That's not an issue. I can update the dates
Yeah,
from the one before, then we can just tweak them from there.
yeah, and I'm okay with these, and then, you know, she wanted to add the $6,700 for BWC to it, and then the only other one was allocating from Road and Bridge for,
Right, so it was $14,088 for trustee salaries. $50 for fiscal officer salary.
I guess my question is why, like, I get stuck on why we don't just take it all out of general. I mean, I know we can, but it seems like it's an extra step for
right,
no reason. We made the adjustment to the general fund when we adjusted millage. We didn't want to adjust it more because we wanted to leave money in road and bridge. So it seems like it would make
did we
Laura's
account
job
for all the salaries out of general to begin with?
for the elected officials. We
Yeah.
did, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, and you're right, that's probably in the end, it's a wash, it can come out either one.
Right.
Yeah. We don't have to take it out of the road and bridge fund.
Any reason we have to? I mean,
You guys are the decision makers.
I mean, so for now, I would just, I mean, again, we can always make that adjustment down the road.
Sure.
But I think for now, let's leave it the way that it is.
Okay.
All right. Do you want to make a motion to?
Well, you want totals for, or you want to just do it?
Well, just,
in
I mean-
accordance with the exhibit?
Yeah, I would just do it in the court. I mean, if you want to read through every single one of them, we can, but I mean, we
We
can
can
make
do
these all
that
public.
publicly.
Right.
I think that would be tedious. Yeah, I would make the motion on the fire district side to approve permanent appropriations per Exhibit A, and the schedule would be
You want to put it to, just put the total amount on there?
Yeah.
It's at the,
at the very bottom.
yeah.
The $1,927,657.30. And that is inclusive of the bond fund.
Correct. I'll second. Roll call vote.
O'Neill, yes?
Paroli, yes. And Fullerton is not here. You have the one for township as well.
I would make the motion on the township side to approve permanent appropriations for, per Exhibit A, for a total of $1,735,058.42.
I'll second. Roll call vote.
O'Neill, yes?
Paroli, yes. And Fullerton is not here. One last time, any public comment?
A quick question,
Yeah.
just about the mailboxes.
Yeah.
And who came through with the fiber last year? Reason being, one, they put that cable, it's right by where my mailbox is, and I have to dig for a new mailbox.
Okay.
So, do I call 811 with that, or do I have to call a cable? And then part B is I have to call the cable anyways, because they've got, I don't know if anyone else has this problem, but they've got whatever that black thing is just laying in my yard, it's been there over a year.
Yeah, I think two of them came through last year, Medina.
Medina Fiber,
and
Lit
then
Fiber, yeah.
Frontier came through later in the year. They've still got flags and,
Yep.
and work to be done in my yard. If you're gonna do it yourself, definitely call 811.
Yeah.
Yeah, but last time I called, they only do certain things, so I don't know if they'll, I mean, they may have, they will know who has it though, I believe.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, because you're talking about over on Lake Road, right? I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that's Lit Fiber, because Frontier was,
I don't know
More
where exactly
towards-
Frontier
yeah.
went. They both
But-
came through the
Yeah.
subdivisions, but
Anything else?
nothing else for me. I'll make the motion to adjourn.
I will second. All in favor?
Aye?
Aye. All opposed? All right, meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
7:06.
Time?
7:06.